Hey everybody, off the mic sports network here. A little bit more reaction to the final four. This was, I'm going to say this. This is already, and we still have one more game to go. This is already the best final four in the history of the tournament. This is already the best final four in the history of the tournament. That first game between Auburn and Florida was as high of a level of basketball as I've ever seen. You get an all-time performance from Walter Clayton Jr., an insane comeback from Florida. They just were persistent. They were able to come back. A couple of highlight reel dunks from Elijah Martin, who's able to get past this round 2 years after he had his heart broken at FAU against San Diego State in this exact same spot. And Florida's able to push through. I picked them to win the national championship before the tournament. I changed my mind because I thought Duke was going to be facing them in the national title game. We'll get to that part of this in a second. But credit to Florida, man. They've got an all-time tournament performance from Walter Clayton Jr. I think I heard a stat that he has already in 5 games surpassed the Florida record for most points scored in an NCAA tournament. That was by Joakim Noah all those years ago. Walter Clayton's done that in 5 games, and he's already lapped him by like 20 points. Like, it's unbelievable what this kid has done, and just burst onto the scene. Like, we've known that he's a special player for those who've like faintly followed college basketball, but he's been the tournament star of this thing, and like he'll be the MOP if Florida's able to cut down the net. Thomas Houck's been great, stepping up off the bench. Like I said, Elijah Martin with all that experience. Will Richards, a great player. Alex Condon, who's one of their key players, has not really played particularly well. And yet Florida's been able to, survive and advance in a couple of situations. Like they get past Texas Tech. They got past UConn. Now they're able to persevere and get past Auburn, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. This was an unbelievable game. Heartbreaks for Janai Broome, who was one of the best players in the sport this year, one of the best players in the sport the last 2 years. And Auburn can't get to the national championship game under Bruce Pearl, who's a hell of a coach. Pettiford, Denver Jones, like they had a bunch of dudes, and they early on in this game, it looked like Auburn was going to assert their dominance, and then Florida, with their depth, with their length, was able to persevere and get through like they have the all tournament. And it leads me to believe that this team is in prime position to potentially cut down the nets and win a national championship on Monday night. Then we get to the second game. I've already done an extensive breakdown of this, but that finish to Duke at Houston is going to be talked about for decades. Duke's collapse, Houston's persistence and ability to just, come back when, nobody gave them a chance. They're down 14 with 8 minutes to go in this game. They're down 6 in the last minute 14. They somehow come up with an 11-1 run at the tail end of this thing. And it's as remarkable of a finish as I've ever seen. It's equally as big of a collapse as it is a great comeback by Houston. Both these teams did things that led to the win or the loss. I'm not going to pin this. Officiating was questionable, but I'm not and that Cooper flag over the back call that, tilted it to 2 free throws. But, inbound the ball, make a free throw and not lead yourself to be in that position. Like, Duke had chances to win this game. Again, I said it. 11-1 run in the last minute and 14 against a team that, granted, is probably the best offensive team under Kelvin Sampson that Houston has ever had. Still, this is not known to be a, immensely gifted offensive team. And yet Duke just took their foot off the gas, or just they could not figure out how to put the ball in the basket the last, 8 to 10 minutes of this game. So it's a remarkable way to get to this Final Four, but 2 all-timer games that we're going to be talking about for years to come. And if we get anything close to what we got on Saturday night, this is going to be the best Final Four of all time. I already think with 1 game to go, it's the best Final Four that we've ever seen. Like, this is as insane of a set of 2 games as we've ever seen in this setting. Like, usually you get a clunker. Usually, and who knows, maybe we get a clunker on Monday night and Florida or Houston blows away the other. I don't know. But I'm here to tell you, man, like it's as, riveting a setting for college basketball, and it's great for the sport. Everybody talks about, there's no upsets. NIL is ruining the sport. You got the four best teams in this thing in San Antonio, for the best teams that the sport has ever seen, according to Ken Pom, since that rating has been in existence. And you got two all timer games with one of the most insane finishes that you've ever seen. That's just in the Final Four. We still got a national championship game to decide it. And Houston against Florida. Florida, widely considered by many to be the favorite coming in, even though they are the lower number one seed. Houston is going to be technically the designated home team in this championship game because Houston was the third number one seed. Let's not forget, Houston went through the Big 12, one of the better conferences in America, and they weren't losing very much. Like, this is a really good basketball team, but a lot of people are going to focus on who they beat, how Duke collapsed down the stretch. But let's give Houston some credit. They've got the best coach in college basketball, Kelvin Sampson, who's just consistently been doing this at Houston for years. Houston's now running the Big 12. They were running the American Athletic Conference for years. This is going to be an outstanding championship game. We'll see if Houston's able to slow down, is able to slow down Florida in this national title game, if they're able to slow down Walter Clayton Jr., if LJ Cryer is going to be able to score and defend at the level that he has been able to do. But this team is loaded with men. There's a lot, and that's the other thing about this game. Like, there's a lot of veteran basketball players on this. There's not a lot of one and dones. There's not a lot of these are like guys who stuck around. I'm not trying to knock a Duke in any respect of the because that Duke team was talented, and like they had dudes outside of the three freshmen that really were the key parts to this team. But it's nice to have, veterans in this championship game. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited to see it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll have a lot more coverage here on the channel. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.